gave me the power to survive, gave me the will to live my life. Now that you pushed me away, I find it so hard to believe, find it so hard to be me. Quand je vois ton sourire, je me demande, sera-t-il le mien? Encore une fois, toi et moi, main dans la main. Maintenant je vois ta décision. Je resterai dans ma maison, la maison de mon cœur, celle de verre que j'aurais dû bâtir avec la pierre.
I pushed you away, I pushed you away. It's too late to come back now. I'm gonna close the door to my heart.
Push by to leave.
I pushed you away. I pushed you away. I pushed you away. It's too late to come back now. I'm gonna close the door to my heart. I pushed you away, I pushed you away. It's too late to come back now. I'm gonna close the door to my energy. I see a light that I never knew. You are overtaking me, mesmerized, paralyzed. When your eyes find mine, that's when you leave me. Ocean eyes, the world drifts around me. Ocean eyes. time, hold your breath, you're the only one I see. Breathe me in, taste your lips, you're the only high I need. I'm losing control, your eyes entice me. And just letting go, your hold is stunning. I feel you rushing through my veins, our bodies getting closer. Your heartbeat drives me
Coming on the baseline.
Hello guys and welcome to the League of Legends 5-on-5 Open Series Cup for some French players, and it's going to be the 626 series, and today I'll be joined by Ashradel.
Hello there.
Hello Ashradel, and we are already starting to see some bans coming out, and right now for the blue team it is Rexar and Hecarim. And for the red team, they are banning Azir, and they are going to ban another champion in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, interesting to see where they focus the next ban, having taken out one of the main mid lane power picks with Azir.
Yeah, definitely. Azir is a very strong mid laner, and you certainly don't want him to be open, because he can't deal so much damage, but Ezreal being banned and Janna as well, so a lot of hard engage for the blue team being banned, but also some disengage. So this could show that they might want to go for some poke. But with Ashriel being banned, it takes away a lot of the poke and one of the very strong poke mid laners right now.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if the blue team picking up maybe a Sivir in the first rotation, having taken away that Janna, maybe to secure their hard engage composition.
Yeah, definitely. Sivir is one of the better AD carries out there, but Sejuani is going to be the first pick, so a lot of hard engage right now for the blue team. But they have to be very careful, because right now there are three main junglers: the Cinderhulk junglers, the Devour junglers, and the Runeglaive junglers. And they decided to go for the Cinderhulk, so they have a good tank line, but it leaves up a lot of damage for the purple team, and they have to be really careful. But Ashe and Kayle being locked in as well.
Yeah, definitely the new Devourer matchmaking Kayle pretty viable in the jungle. Also working well with the Ashe in the way her lack of mobility, meaning she's going to be able to keep her alive with that intervention ultimate.
Yeah, definitely. It brings a lot, and especially in that hard engage comp where they are where they have a lot of engage, it will help her with that invulnerability. But with Sivir and Vladimir, they have a lot of damage. They have a lot of late game damage from Vladimir, and they have that on the hunt, so they have a way to bring Vladimir and Sejuani into the fray and just to deal a lot of damage and lock them all down. So now we're gonna see what purple team wants to respond with.
Yeah, Zac in the top lane, I would be assuming. He's going to be quite an unusual pick, maybe looking for some of that re-engage, the counter-engage after the Sejuani ultimate coming in. Lulu possibly on that support as well, with that protecting the Ashe composition, the ultimate as well, and the speed up, keeping her mobile around the team fights.
Yeah, especially with the protect the Ashe composition, as you said. But they don't have to rely only on Ashe, because they do have that Kayle, and they also have a bit of damage from Lulu, even though she is going to be his support. But Yasuo being logged in as the first, as the mid laner, so now they have a Lulu support and a Yasuo mid lane who can get some knockups from the Zac top lane. So it's not really going to be that big of a problem having that damage and having the re-engage / disengage for purple team. But there are a lot of hard engage and a lot of point to click CC from blue team. So purple team will mainly be about disengaging, and if blue team can get some CC onto Ashe, it's going to be really hard. But that's where Kayle and Lulu is going to come in.
Yeah, definitely the blue team coming out with a very strong mid-game composition. That AP Vladimir in the mid lane, the Sivir hitting a power spike around that mid-game, on the hunt, coming in with as well as the Righteous Glory combination from that Maokai locked in the top lane. It's going to be very explosive around that mid-game as teams hit their item spikes.
Yeah, as you said, it's going to be very explosive around that mid-game. And that's why purple team have to be really careful. They have some very great late-game damage, especially with Kayle, who wants to farm up with the new Devourer item. Remember guys, we are on patch 5.13, we are in the live client, so the Devourer is out there and it's going to deal a lot of damage, especially with Kayle, who has some on-hit effects, which once Devourer hits the 30 stacks, it's gonna be really hard for the blue team to deal with, unless they can lock her down and not leave her up to deal a lot of damage. But that's gonna be the problem, because Yasuo can deal a lot of damage and Kayle can deal a lot of damage, and you can't lock them all down unless you can hit a 5-man Sejuani ult, and that's basically gonna be one of the bigger problems for the the blue team.
Yeah, I think red team, if they're going to be able to win these team fights, they're going to have to be the first ones in, because that Zac slingshot's going to have to take time for them to be able to get in. The Ashe arrow is going to be probably the main source of engage for that red team. They have a very nice wombo for the late game though, both the Zac and the Lulu providing hard knockups for the last breath Yasuo ultimate potential to turn team fights around. It'd be very interesting to see how they play around that.
Yeah, you're right. The purple team has a lot of engage in the late game. And that's a problem for the blue team, because they don't want to be engaged on. They want to be the ones engaging. And if they can't be the ones engaging, then they're gonna have a problem, because they have that point and click CC. Of course, they can peel with it, but they'd rather use it for engaging, since that way they can control how the fight will go and at what pace, and it's not really something that they want to be engaged on, so it's going to be really hard for them in the late game or even in the mid game being engaged on if they fall behind.
Yeah, definitely the blue team not having a lot of disengage, with all of them focused around getting that perfect pick onto one of the carries from the red team. If they find themselves unable to catch somebody out, they're going to have a tough time dealing with the re-engage of the red team.
Yeah, they are going to have a very hard time, and in about 40 seconds we are going to see how it's going to go for either team, and right now I am expecting some of the lanes to win for blue team, since I feel like they have some very strong lanes.
Yeah, definitely the red team, especially their bot lane with the Lulu Ashe, going to have a lot of harassment potential in the early game. But then again, Sivir Nautilus is definitely not a lane that you want to get behind against. They've got a lot of damage coming out themselves, so maybe we'll see some team deathmatch in the bot lane with the junglers hopefully getting some presence down there.
Yeah, we might see some team deathmatch, as you call it. Yeah, and we could exactly expect some lane swaps coming in from the purple team, because as an Ashe you want to hit your power spike in the mid game, and you can't really do that if you're being bullied out by Nautilus or by Sivir. Of course the Ashe does have a bigger auto attack range than a Sivir, but with the Nautilus you have more ways to engage onto the Ashe, and Ashe doesn't really want to be engaged on, and that's going to be a problem for her.
No, definitely Nautilus a strong pick into that. Sivir actually having one of the lower auto attack ranges in the game, and the Ashe on the other extreme with the high engage. But as you were talking about the lane swaps, I just want to note the summoner spells onto Zac, the ignite and teleport. No defensive or mobility summoners coming out of him, so he might struggle in the 2v1 lane against a Nautilus engage.
Yeah, and with that ignite, he's gonna have a lot of ways to engage onto the Maokai and actually have some kill pressure, because Isaac doesn't really have that much of a kill pressure, because his abilities doesn't deal a lot of damage in the early game. So with that ignite, it certainly helps, and that could be a way for the purple team to just not do the lane swap and put Zac into the top lane to try and get him ahead instead, so you will have a very tanky top lane already in the mid game. And if you do have that tanky top lane, you can mitigate a lot of the damage that will come out from the blue team. And I could see with Kayle being one of the better gankers in this Devour meta, I could see him not going for the lane swap, but it's all about which carry you want to get fed.
Yeah, definitely. Ever since the nerf onto Zac's AP scaling ratios, the ignite with his lane actually opening him up for some kill potential here.
Yeah, it does open up for some kill potential. But now we are in game, and on the blue side, I do believe we have Best Friends Forever swag with Kazor in the top lane, the Nano God in the jungle, Busu in the mid lane, we have an OP French guy in the AD carry role, and we have Pilou de Poo in the support role. And on the red side we do have the Hunger Bait in the top lane on Zac, and then we have shoutcaster in the jungle. We have Nerf Vegeta Please in the mid lane. Then we have Merkel Jans, a French guy as well, and then we have Irisol as the support. And right now we are just seeing some standard starting level 1s. Not a lot happening, and both teams are just trying to get some vision down if they really want to go in to get the vision. Only one ward being used at this present time, and that's in the mid lane. So not a lot happening right now.
Yeah, nobody going for those deep wards early at the level 1, nobody looking to make some invasive plays. We do see the Sejuani heading towards around her top side jungle, but I believe she's pinging now down towards the bot side. Both junglers going to be starting off with their strongest bot lane pulls.
Yeah, and I feel like the Kayle maybe could have gone to the top lane to get the Crux, because That way she'd help her bot lane to get some advantages and some free farm in the early game, since they are the weaker bot lane. But it looks like, well, Zac isn't even going to take the top farm. I think he's just hanging around his top tower, so it's a bit of a wasted opportunity in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see where these junglers end up with their pathing, whether they're going to go for the double buff single camp start towards straight to the top lane, or whether they're just going to hang around. Kayle definitely either going to be wanting to get off a successful early gank for that Devourer start, or to just farm up as quick as she can to that gold.
Yeah, and with the Devourer you do put a lot of pressure onto the Scuttler Crabs in the jungle, and also with them giving more stacks for the Devourer, it helps with the vision as well. So it's actually very good for the team to have a Devourer jungler, because it focuses a lot of that vision, as I just said. But it leaves your team behind in terms of having some gank pressure, because you'll have to go for that those stacks and get to that late game as a beast. And Pillow and the bot lane are just taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, both Ashe and Sivir with their volley and boomerang pokes are going to be doing quite a lot of damage with a very low cooldown, so it's going to be looking to see who can poke out the other member, maybe get some wave pressure pushing in their favor, but nothing so far, just some small trades in the bot lane.
Yeah, some small trades, and actually I feel like in the trades and in the poke, the Ashe should win, because, yeah, as we said in the loading screen, the Ashe has a bigger range advantage, but Lulu is also one of the stronger lane. Oh, we have a gank in the top lane.
The Nano Guard coming up, interrupting the slingshot by Zac. Kazor gonna keep him locked down, trying to stay on top of him. Red buff being applied as they move back away, not feeling they want to secure the dive this early in the game.
No, and diving this early in the game might be very difficult, and especially with the Zac still having his passive, it's not gonna be an easy task. And the least you could get from it was the passive, and that's not really what you want to go for. You want to get that early first blood, and that's not gonna help against a Zac who can just revive himself.
No, definitely. We're going to see Kazor coming down into that river after Sejuani backs, getting vision of the Shoke's Kayle as he moves around, maybe looking for a return gank, but he's just going to head into the jungle now. Poke lined in Dredge line onto Miracle Yanzi's snared coming down there. Polymorph coming out onto an OP French, and Ashe is going low. He's going to maybe get the chase down. Unable to get the follow-up slow on there that maybe would have secured the kill. Lots of damage coming down onto that Ashe now, but it looks like it's going to be an even trade onto those carries.
Yeah, both carries just winning the trade in their own favor, because now, of course, the purple team does have some more unhealthy champions, because Lulu isn't very tanky as Nautilus, so Nautilus will have more damage and will be a better frontline for Sivir coming in, but also the exhaust was popped for the purple team, so that's also an advantage for Pillow the Pooh and then OP French once they want to go in for a kill or something.
Yeah, definitely. They're probably the reason they were able to come out almost even on that trade was the exhaust summoner spell being used from the Lulu there. Looking up in the top lane, Kazor being pushed in a little by this Zac wave clear now, keeping up on farm pretty evenly, but a slight advantage towards the red side.
Yeah, a very slight advantage, but also Zac is actually a very strong laner, because he has a lot of CC and a lot of... that
Dredge line being caught onto the Ashe, coming in with the ricochet, they're not able to finish off the kill and switching over to the mid lane. Looks like Vlad is going to pick up first blood. It looked very close there after the knock-up coming out from Yasuo, successfully connecting, but Vlad with that sustain able to take him out. Hungerbait in the top lane, catching up with those wobblers to stay alive, very clutch there, coming down to about...
Yeah,
going to back off now.
Yeah, and some very nice moves everywhere. Especially that Vladimir. Yasuo just didn't respect the damage coming in from Vladimir there. He had the barrier, and he could have used it, but he didn't really respect, or he didn't really know how much damage the Vladimir would be able to pull out, and that's something you have to know. And whoa, that's a close.
Knockout coming, Ignite down onto Gazor. He has to flash back to his turret. The level 6 coming up from Gabay. He's going to take a turret shot, but it's a one for... No, the passive going to keep him safe there. Not going to be able to touch the rest of his bloblings. He gets the kill onto Maokai there.
Yeah, and that's that Ignite we were talking about, because with the Ignite he has so much kill pressure in the top lane, and of course it's good to have some kill pressure in your laning phase, but this leaves him with a lot of ways that he could have, well, sorry, it leaves him with some useless Ignite basically, because in a team fight it would have been much better to have a flash, because that way he would have been able to flash into the enemy team. And yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see how he can transition his lead from the top lane into the mid game and into the team fights.
Yeah, it's quite interesting you mentioned the Ignite only coming out in the top lane. We've got Exhaust on the Lulu and the Barrier on the Yasuo. Obviously not expecting that Vladimir to be a mid lane pick, and he's not looking for any kill pressure either. Otherwise, that Ignite would be quite imperative on taking out the sustain from the blue team.
Yeah, there are a lot of sustain from the blue team, as you said, and especially I feel like the Ignite is actually... It's an okay alternative to Reflash, because the Maokai does have a passive where he gets some health, and if you can use Ignite once he has that passive, it's going to take away a lot of the health that Maokai otherwise would have gotten from his passive. And now we see Shadron in the bot lane.
Not connecting. Riptide coming out, not going to connect on that either. Both skill shots missing from Peel out the Pow. Going to have to back off. Nanoguard coming in slightly too late, with his bot lane having pushed in already.
Yeah, and it was very close from Pilau to land a blind hook. Oh, he lands on another one.
Dredgeline coming out, he's landing the passive, he's going to get the slowdown, but again they're backing off. Volley for the return trade. Ricochet clearing that wave. They had the minion favor. Probably the red team not wanting to go further into that with such minion damage in front of them.
Yeah, minion damage is certainly something. Oh, Nanogod!
Oh, flash coming out. Hemobay connects, but the Glacial Prison is going to be flashed out of. Not enough to lock him down, and Yasuo is going to get away there.
Yeah, so a flash for a flash, and now Kale's in the mid lane again. And Kale's not really having a lot of gank pressure in this game, because she decided to go for the Devourer, and therefore she has to farm all game. And now she has her level 6, so we should start to see her doing some ganks, but it's going to be rather risky.
Oh, teleport coming up from the Zac in the bot lane. Spell shield coming out early from an OP French blocking the heal. The arrow, crystal arrow comes out, and the knock up onto Sibe. A return TP from the Maokai, but he has not got the damage to try turn around this fight. The damage reduction not being enough, and that's a 2 for 0 trade on the red team.
Yeah, a very good trade for the red team, but Kale isn't really in the neighborhood right now, so they can't answer with some objectives. And of course it's nice to get the kills, but you'd like to get some objectives after getting those kills, because the blue team just lost their dragon pressure, and they want to go for the dragon. And Kale is also coming now, but the rest of blue team's bot lane are up again, and they can answer, and it's going to be really hard, but it looks like Nanogod are giving up the dragon pressure, and this is probably going to be the first dragon of the game going over to red team.
Yeah, it looks like the blue team's bot lane is just coming in, but it's going to be a bit slow. It looked like the Kale was making mistakes with pathing there, not being available on the bot lane, just to go straight for that dragon for those 5 stacks on a Devourer, which does benefit her quite a lot. Not immediately there to pick up in the transition, but they get the dragon anyway, so all is well in this red team.
Yeah, and she already has 11 stacks in 11 minutes, so 1 stack per minute, and that's certainly gonna help her reach those 30 stacks that you want to get, because of her Devourer being stronger at 30. And now he lands.
He's taking the last breath coming out. The ult coming out from Lulu, not going to be enough follow-up there. Yasuo taking a lot of damage from the turret and backing off. We had the Lulu sitting around that mid lane, but we have Sejuani coming in for any possible counter ganks just to cover mid there.
Yeah, and as Yasuo, you do have a lot of damage. Oh, Kale actually going into the top lane.
Yep, Kale coming up, the hunger bait, trying to bait him in a little actually. The ult coming up from Malphite, but he's going to flash away. No immediate danger for him there with the summoner spell now off cooldown.
Yeah, so another flash used to get away. And that's very good, but it's going to leave him with some lesser ways to make plays. And Zac is really just dominating this top lane, and he decided to go for the sorcery boost to have some early game damage and be able just to be able to tattoo his Maokai that didn't decide to go for any.
Oh, Death Charge coming out onto Ashe. He's going to flash away. They're turning their attention onto Lulu. Now the exhaust coming out onto Ashe, but OP French taking a lot of damage. Crystal Arrow landing on the Nautilus instead, not able to hit that severe Nano Guard here in the bot lane. Re-engage from Pilau coming out, going to pick up the kill. Glacial Prison landing. Victor roaming in from the mid lane with that Hemo Plague. The ult from Kale going to be enough to... Oh no, too soon. The damage from the Helo Plague coming out onto Lulu. The sustain from Vlad might not be enough to keep him alive now against the full health Kale.
Yeah, nice response from Kale, but a bit too late. He might have been able to save someone under the tower. But, well, Miracle Jans was going back, and that was a mistake from him because the dredge line was back up for Nautilus, and that's just not something you want to be close to when it's up and back from cooldown.
No, it was a very decisive play there from Pilau the Pow on that Nautilus. Turning in, he saw the Vlad roaming in from mid lane and he decided they had enough damage to turn around with that dredge line and take out the Ashe.
Yeah, and that gank shows once again how much gank pressure the Sejuani has. Even though she weren't there in the start, once she came back in, they secured 2 kills from her coming in and landing that stun onto. I think it's a stun onto Lulu, and it just shows. But now Lulu is just
harassing Nano Guard at his red buff, gonna be able to take it and take it away. Just want to mention the red team had a lot of wards down in the blue team's jungle here around this bot side.
And they found a Vladimir.
Yeah, Vladimir just taking some hook damage, not really minding at all with that Will of Ancients now completed.
Yeah, so he has another spell of Vampirism, and it's not going to matter too much because he can sustain the lane a lot right now, and he's just going to keep farming. He is behind a little bit in terms of farm, but it's not going to matter too much since he can sustain a lot more than Yasuo. Because Yasuo, of course, he does have a shield, but he doesn't have any lifesteal right now. And he actually decided to go for a Phage as his second item, so a Black Cleaver or a Trinity Force is his next item. Oh, in the top.
Oh, landing the snare onto the hunger bait. Not sure why he thought the slingshot in would be a good idea. He's gonna keep those bloodlets alive for some regen there. Re-engage coming in from the Maokai. Maybe he can pop his ult for enough damage to keep him down. No saplings of the ultimate coming out. Ignite onto Kazor. It's a very close fight here. Wet Noodle fight ends up with the bloblets, meaning Zac comes out on top with that trade. The Ignite securing him the win there. Maokai having leaving him very close to death. Sorry, Dredge line in the spot lane. The Hunter has been popped for some attack speed. Depth Charge coming out onto Ashe. She's knocked up. Riptide coming out for a slow. A lot of damage onto OP French. And now we see that teleport coming out from Zac. Could he pick up the kill? He's going to... yeah, secure the damage here onto Pilau. Unfortunately, Ashe going down just before. I'm not sure when the Lulu's ultimate came off cooldown. Not enough to keep her alive. Slingshot getting him a double kill for his efforts. Kazor coming in now with that Righteous Glory, landing the snare onto Lulu, who has no mana. A lot of damage coming out from that Q, and he should be able to finish her off now. There we go.
And Zac is trying to get away.
Yeah, Zac is not in a good place right now. He's gonna look for that execute around the base. Ultimate being used for the shutdown there. Very nice at the end there, just to pick up the kill. I'd say that's a worth.
Yeah, that's a perf, and definitely some style points going over to Nanogard for that play. Well, it was actually pretty nice for the blue team right there, but yeah, the red team is still ahead, and they are ahead nearly 20,000 gold. Sorry, not 20,000, 2,000 gold right now. And it's going to matter a little bit because now Yasuo actually decided to go for 24s first, and this is a very unusual build. So normally you would like to go for the static shield because it gives you wave clear, and it gives you attack speed, and it gives you pretty much everything you want because movement speed helps you with your passive, attack speed helps you with your Q, and it gives you pretty much everything you want. But a 24s gives you more dueling power, and it's a huge power spike for him right now, and they definitely want to use it for the dragon.
Looks like blue team is going to be converging onto the dragon here now. It's still in play at the minute here, sitting around 3k health. Kale may be looking to take this off the board now, as most of the blue team is sitting around the mid lane. Bit of a late response there, and their bot lane is going to be caught out. Crystal Arrow landing onto Peel Out, and that's a kill for Shots there. Racking up that Sacred Devourer. Now Humo Plague in the mid lane going to do a lot of damage, taking out 2 members of the red team. Hungerbait sat there in the middle with a lot of sustain, sitting with that Spirit Visage. Nanoguard going to be taken down just from the auto attack power there. Ash, oh, the slow comes out onto Kazor. Slingshot missing, going to back away there, not able to chase him into the turret range with that mid lane turret still alive.
And Hungerbait is such a huge part of the red team right now because even though he doesn't build pure damage, he is so tanky right now, and oh, he's diving.
Oh, Slingshot coming in, the re-engage here with Hail coming in, doing some damage with that Devourer. Now Izit tanking the turret there. They're gonna back away. That was a very nice dive. Not a great position to be with 4 members of the red team around the mid lane.
No, not a very nice position to be, but yeah, Hungerbait is so far ahead. He has a sorcery boots. Oh, and
Dredge line on Hungerbait. I'm not sure. Nobody from the blue team following up there. Not really in range to take up on the recalling Zac.
yeah, just to try and interrupt him, so they might be able to answer with the mid lane tower. It's fairly low, and I think they should be able to nuke it before the red team comes back. Oh,
Slingshot coming out, spell shielded by the Sivir. She's going to reply with some auto attack trades. Vladimir tanking the turret there. Looks like they're going to try with 2 more members coming up to that mid lane, take down the turret and maybe back off now.
Yeah, and as I was saying, Hungerbait is very far ahead right now. He has a lot of magic resistance, and he has the sorcerer's boots, so a lot of damage and a lot of magic resistance against a team that's basically 4 magic damage. And it looks like Showcase is just Showcase, you're doing a lot of damage.
Taking damage, the last finishing him off, and that's a double kill for Yasuo there. Sorry, sorry, my mistakes there. The Yasuo didn't finish him off with the last breath. That was the Kale taking the kill for the first one, and the follow-up slip and slide from Yasuo to secure the second.
And red team are really in a bad spot right now. Sorry, blue team is in a bad spot right now because they want to be the ones engaging, and as I was talking about, they are falling behind, and it's not what they want because now they are against a third kid who has a lot of damage against a team who wants to be tanky but aren't there yet. Ashe has decided to go for a Bloodthirster, so she's really healthy in this mid game. And against a Zac who has a lot of damage, and you have 0 damage.
Hemo Plague landing onto 2. Glacial Prison hitting 3, interrupting that slingshot now. Hemo Plague gonna do some damage there, maybe able to take out the Lulu. The bounce from Zac looks like gonna be locking down that Ashe now. Kale intervention, not yes, user now. She's gonna be alone there against 2. Sejuani dropping very low. Ending up, sorry, with a 3 for 3 at the minute.
Yeah, and in the top lane, Yasuo's just pushing away, so
yeah, that's probably the reason they lost that fight, honestly. It was a very nice counter-engage from the Sejuani with that Glacial Prison, locking down that Zac slingshot, but just a very messy fight in general, honestly, from both teams.
yeah, very messy fight indeed, but with the Yasuo pushing away, it does give them a fairly okay tower advantage, because it is 2-2, but red team with getting that top lane tower, it gives them more gold and it gives them a better lead, because with more gold you get more items, and with more items you deal more damage, and Vegeta has to be really careful now.
Yeah, caught between a rock and a hard base. He's gonna dodge that dread line with the wind wall. Going to be able to just away. He gets snared now by the Nautilus passive. The last breath coming out. He's not gonna pick up anything here. Crystal Arrow going to interrupt the Sejuani, and he actually makes it away, sliding over the wall and running away in that mid lane. Not sure how he managed to get out of there. It looked stacked against him, but he does manage to escape.
Yeah, and it just shows how little damage the blue team have. Okay, they didn't have their carries there, but their tank and the top laner didn't really deal any damage, and now they have to give up their own buffs. So they're really in a bad spot. Their jungler can't get any gold. Oh, Nano gone. You have to be careful.
A lot of auto attack coming down with this Satyr Devourer now. Not enough to get the kill, but going very low. Glacial Prison, stopping that engage and keeping him alive. Having to burn that ultimate. Maybe red team is going to look at take advantage of this and force a team fight. Maybe
they might have found it.
Yeah, looking around this mid lane, taking a lot of damage from the turret. There's Slingshot coming in just to keep some zoning pressure in that mid lane. They're going to look to clear the wave and maybe siege mid with those wards around the blue side.
Yeah, and the red team does have a lot of damage right now, and they should be able. Oh, they're engaging.
Slingshot coming in, landing on two. Perfect last breath coming in. Bouncing around the chemo play, only landing onto one, and it's a lot of damage coming out from this red team now. Hunger Bait going low, but he's going to keep pushing on. The Ignite onto Vladimir, meaning his Slingshot under the turret. He's not afraid to take this all the way to the end. That's going to be a clean ace on the red team. Going low there a couple of times, but not losing out anybody with that Zac passive.
Yeah, and Zac is such a huge presence right now for the red team. And now they're actually going for the Baron, and they are going to be able to get it because they have so much damage. And they also have that Kayle who can just nuke any towers. And right now there's only one person up for the blue team. And the carries are going to be up in 4 seconds. So they are going to come out and look at the body of Baron disappearing. And now red team will go back. They will just use all the gold that they just earned, and then they will probably go for the the dragon. And with that third dragon stack, they will have so much mobility, and especially the Yasuo will have a lot of mobility with the Trinity Force and with his tier 2 boots. And it's really starting to look really hard for the blue team because they don't have that wave clear yet.
No, definitely. Yasuo keeping waves cleared in the middle, lands a 3-man knock up, the Righteous Glory coming up, but they're not going to be able to catch him there. It's very difficult, as you said, when you fall behind on a hard engage comp. Blue team needs to take down this first dragon of the game for them, pick up some of that boosting in AD and AP. Look at this, 4 people for the blue team running away from that. Zac, Kayle coming in with the flank and Lulu, massive knockup. Glacial Prison landing onto 4, but it's not going to be enough. The sheer gold difference from the red team coming out now, as we can see, utter annihilation around that red buff. They're going to look to ping. No, that's a surrender vote coming out. GG, well played.
Yeah, and blue team can't do a lot, so I can understand why they surrendered, because, yeah, as you said, when you want to build an AoE combo or a teamfight composition, as most people like to call it, you don't want to fall behind in the laning phase, and that's exactly what the red team did. And it's really hard to come back once you fall behind as a teamfight composition, and that's basically why they surrendered, because Kayle and Zac, they can't deal with them before they have enough damage or enough wave clear to deal with them. And we were 25 minutes in game, and there weren't enough time for the rest of the blue team to scale up. But
honestly,
oh yes, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just about to say we didn't see very much from that Kayle in the early game. Most of the early pressure was coming out from the Sejuani, but once he got going, we see the most damage dealt to champions. We see the raw power from that Satyr Devourer as he picked up the Nashes and the Wit's End for the full-on hit build, doing a lot of damage, shredding through the blue team there right at the end.
Yeah, guys, we are going to get a little bit of break, and when we return, we will have another game with the red team.
drop it like that. You would drop it like that. You would drop it like that.
Hello guys and welcome to the League of Legends 5-on-5 Open Series for some French players. Right now we are going to see the game between Ul Mafia Cola Gaze versus Buananas, and I am joined by Ashwadel.
Hello there, nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again. And right now we are seeing the first bands coming out. It's going to be a Mordekaiser actually, and Diana, so Mordekaiser could be a jungler with the Runeglaive.
I'm honestly not sure the reasoning behind this Mordekaiser pickup. Maybe it's some sort of inside joke with the team I'm not familiar with.
No, I'm not really familiar with Mordekaiser bans, but yeah, Runeglaive jungle would be, or maybe Runeglaive mid is the reason I could see it being banned, but also Mundu and Diana and Zac being banned, so maybe Buananas have seen the last game for Ul Mafia, where the Hunger Bait played Zac and really dominated that game.
Yeah, definitely. The Zac and Kale bans, I believe they were definitely watching that last game. Two of the major powers in those team fights going to be taken away from the red team now. Let's see if they have something to replace them with.
Yeah, and if there are other Runeglaive junglers out there, or Devourer junglers if they want to go for that. And Renection is going to be the last ban, so let's see what Buananas wants to go for. A lot of power picks are open as Seer, but Fish if you want to go for a Cinderhulk or Runeglaive jungler in Italy. There's a lot of picks open, and it's definitely going to be very interesting to see what they want to go for.
Yeah, we'll be seeing if they have any flex picks like the Fizz you mentioned, or whether they're just going to be going for those power picks for their team individuals.
Yeah, and Ezreal is open, but it's going to be the Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks being locked in. Most people not necessarily sure how this new Fiddlesticks is going to work out with that Runeglaive. Be interesting to see how he plays it. Maybe going for that Zhonya's Hourglass Rush.
Yeah, but well, Fiddlesticks is actually a flex pick because he could basically go every lane if he wants to. But right now, Ul Mafia is hovering over Kalista and Echo, but also Ezreal hovered over since he is a very strong mid laner right now. But it looks like they want to go for Kalista, who is a very good AD carry, who has a lot of damage and a lot of utility, so she would do very well in a skirmish composition, as it looks like they're building with that Rengar maybe being locked in.
Yeah, definitely would have been nice to see that Ezreal hover, maybe daring the blue team to pick up that Runeglaive meta, saying we're ready for this, we can play around it. The Rengar being locked in as well for that jungle. Interesting to see if he's going for that full assassin against the so far very squishy blue team.
Yeah, very squishy blue team. And yeah, as you said, they could maybe just be mind gaming the blue team to pick up that Ezreal. And well, Sivir is open, so another strong AD carry with a lot of utility, a lot of late game damage. He she relies a bit more on auto attacks and crits than Kalista, who relies on her stacking her rents. But with Janna, they have a lot of disengage if they want to, but they also have a lot of engage. With Janna, if you can do a flash monsoon, so she can go both ways, and also with the fiddlesticks, they will have some engage. And yeah, as you said, they have built a very, very squishy team, and Rengar is basically just going to be in paradise unless the monsoon will land and save someone.
Yeah, definitely. The Pride Stalker going to be running loose around the rift. Gianna pick up for the blue team. Very nice solo queue pick into Rengar, obviously with that monsoon. You see the Rengar popping out of his invisibility. You instantly press R and he's sent flying back into the distance where he came from.
A flying cat. Well, I've heard of flying fishes, but not flying cats.
Yeah, it's like we got some interesting pickups. A flex pick maybe with that Kogath hovering. Now going to be possibly a top lane, also mid lane. We've seen the mid lane AP assassin Kogath fallen from favor. Obviously with these new AP changes, it's all open in that mid lane to old and new assassins.
Yeah, and yeah, Cho'Gath is, as you said, a flex pick, and I actually like the flex pick right there for Cho'Gath because it allows them to say, we dare blue team to pick someone into the blind. And that's going to be really hard, and I really like this Braum pickup because blue team are going for a siege, a composition where they can siege and poke, and Ezreal is open, and Braum with his shield should be able to mitigate a lot of that damage, and that's actually going to be really nice to look for. But as with the Braum pickup, they decide, the blue team, to go for a Yasuo and a Malphite instead.
Yeah, I definitely like the Yasuo and Malphite coming in with this blue team, matched with On the Hunt, the Crow Storm. It's all going to be very, very strong team fights for this Blues team. Obviously the Malphite giving them some decent front line to engage with. Let's see what the last pick coming up from the red team is to answer this. I'm not honestly so sure with that Braum pickup how that's going to fit into the composition. It's generally used against poke comms, have a Jace or Varus or Corki around that mid lane position, but I don't see, apart from some nice disengage, how he's going to fit in here.
Yeah, well, I can see it because purple team, they have decided to go for a skirmish composition. And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to pick some really strong one-on-ones and strong 2-on-2s against a composition that wants to just go in a team fight and AoE or everybody to the ground. So now the purple team don't have to go in a team fight because they could just split push all game long. So that's actually something we should really look out for. If they want to team fight, then they are going to be far ahead, and that would look like the last game.
Yeah, I understand what you mean now with that catch and pick composition coming out. When we have that Ahri now locked in, we see that maybe with that Braum passive they're going to be able to lock down a single target. You've also got the Feast from Kogath, and obviously Rengar excels in the single target burst damage.
Yeah, you really do excel in that single target burst damage, and as I said, it will allow them to not go into a team fight because they don't have to do it, and that's just going to be a problem for the blue team because they don't want to go out into the side lanes and try to do something there. They wanted to be the ones grouping up and just putting pressure somewhere else, and of course, if they get ahead, or if they're even in the mid game, then the purple team have to respond to that, and that's going to be really hard for them because they do have the Ahri and they do have a little bit of wave clear coming in from Kalista, but it's not that much wave clear, and it's certainly going to be hard.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that blue team looking to pick out fights around that mid game after you say their item spikes come up. They're definitely not going to be wanting to wasting all their ultimates onto a single target like the purple team might.
No, they will not do that. And I don't think we will be seeing any lane swaps in this game because actually the Sivir and the Janna, they are fairly safe. They do have a lot of disengage with the Janna. And even though Sivir doesn't have a very strong, a very high auto attack range, she will still be able to go in and get some farm because of Janna being there to disengage onto the using her disengage onto Kalista. And Kalista, she doesn't have a lot of mobility in terms of walking up to someone. She wants to jump into the face of you, and that's not something you can do once Janna's there.
No, definitely not. Kalista wants to go for those extended fights, wants to keep those Ren stacks popping up the spheres, lodging into the target, whereas Janna, with her Howling Gale and that massive slow on her W, is going to...
Ashridal?
Sorry, I must have cut out there. Push to talk, not the best option, I guess. Yes, sorry, Janna going to be denying Kalista those extended fights, meaning she won't be able to get her full Ren capabilities in that bot lane.
Yeah, and that is going to hurt Kalista a lot, but 20 seconds till we load into the game, and we should be starting to see a very explosive game, because Purple Team on the one side doesn't want to go into the mid game even, they want to be ahead, and they certainly don't want to be behind. And the Blue Team, they just have to be ahead, so we really should see Purple Team putting a lot of pressure in this early game.
Yeah, definitely. I believe vision is going to be one of the key factors here. Blue Team obviously are going to want to be setting up for those team fights around Dragon and Baron, whereas Red Team are going to want to get in maybe some early deep wards to try get the picks off onto the squishy Blue Team targets. It'd be interesting to see if we get any level 1 invades with that Braum passive pickup. See if they try get the head start early on to snowball their comp.
Yeah, they certainly could do an invade since they have Arya and they have Kalista. And also with Braum, that's already 3 stacks, and Kalista, she can jump forward, so that's basically 2 stacks guaranteed. So they should be able to get a an invade and lock someone down if they can find someone, but that's going to be tricky. And yeah, that's basically about it, because we should be seeing the level 1 shenanigans coming in from all Mafia if they want to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a bit optimistic thinking from both of us, wondering if maybe they'd go for that level 1 play. Likely they'd start off in their retrospective jungle camps, but there's always the chance for a highlight reel play.
Yeah, everybody wants to see a level 1, and well, yeah, it's going to be very, very hard for Old Mafia, because it could backfire, and we already have a pause, but I can do the introduction in the meantime. And on the purple side we have Old Mafia with the Hunger Bait in the top lane, we have Showcasey in the jungle, then we have Nerf Vegeta Please in the mid lane, and then we have Michael Jans in the carry role with the support of Isolt. And then on the blue side we have Dow Pepsi in the top lane, and then we have Schlagu in the jungle, Shons in the mid lane, Killigan version 2 as the AD carry, and Hotherby as the support. And now we might see an invade. Do it.
Yeah, we look at both teams got 5 man coming down that bot side, wondering who is going to be getting the first wards in, trying to look to...
They're just going to mirror each other.
Yeah, nobody's going to be spotted. The Yasuo actually going to be caught out alone against 5 members.
Oh.
He's got the knock-up lands from Kogath, Charm comes down, that passive lands from Braum, and that's first blood over to Kalista. 400 gold, money in the bank, everyone involved on that red team.
Yeah, that's very, very good for the red team, because this already gives them a lead. And now Kalista can go back and get her tier 1 boots if she wants the extra mobility, or she can get the dagger and the pot. So there's a lot of options open for Kalista right now. But with Nerf Vegeta going for that charm, he's certainly going to be having less pressure in the level 1 as the Sauri. But once level 2 hits, it's not going to matter a lot, because you wanted to get that charm anyways. And now, right now, they're just sitting on top of a ward.
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to contest that red buff, going to just back the Possibly, although, sorry, the Rengar sitting with his bot lane of that red buff, Fiddle going for the safety of his top side blue buff. Probably no interruption here. It's interesting to see how they start. Rengar moving towards the mid lane now.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what they want to do, but they
No,
should.
a little bit of indecisiveness from the red team at the minute.
Yeah, and they should have gone for the red buff, to be honest, because you just spend so much time there, and this is just going to set you even further behind, because you couldn't decide which buff to do, and they had the option to set Fiddlesticks behind, and now they are behind themselves, and it's just backfired.
I think it was a little bit of good mind games from the blue team. Obviously, the bot lane I don't believe actually showed until when their lanes first collapsed, so maybe the Rengar Braum were thinking that the bot lane was ready and waiting for them, and they were going to jump out after taking all that damage from red buff and ruin their plans.
Yeah, and actually right now Braum and Rengar are going for the red buff. So Slughu is also going down to that red buff, and I'm not quite sure he should be doing this because he knows Braum isn't there, so he's probably with Rengar, and that's should say that they are doing that red buff. So either you invade over to the other side, and then you are pretty much on your own, because your top lane Malphite aren't very strong, and it's not going to help you a lot with CC. And the red team have a lot of CC if Fiddlesticks is in the jungle, so
yeah, Fiddlesticks having finished his wolves now, it's all about this double jungle from the red team, going to be taking the red buff now. Braum warding to, just in case of that Fiddlesticks steps inside the jungle. Yasuo actually pushing in the mid lane, so it would be maybe an interesting rotation for them to 3-man gank that mid lane.
Yeah, they could do the 3-man gank, but either way it is going to be a free buff start for the red team. And that's going to hurt. Oh, they might fight Fiddlesticks now.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks walking in straight. The passive is going to land Winter's Bite. Damage coming over. And it's going to be the Braum picking up the kill, actually taking that blue buff, not able to pass it over to Rengar. I believe he must have been feared or a silenced or something, but face checking that bush after seeing that the Braum is still missing from bot lane, definitely not a good idea.
No, definitely not a good idea. And oh, they might have found a Janna.
Flash is bad. There's 5 ferocity stacks coming out from Rengar, but he's taking too much damage from this bot lane. He's going to have to back off now, and nothing for this trade. Going back to his blue buff now.
Yeah, going back to his blue buff, and that's just going to be the 3-man. Actually, it's going to be a 4 buff start, because now Braum got the blue buff, so he's going to have a lot of pressure in the lane once he decides to go there. And there are still 2 buffs waiting for Rengar to pick them up, and it's just going to give him such a huge lead, even though he didn't get the experience from the blue buff. It's the buff still that matters, because it empowers him and it gives him better ganks once he's alone, because Braum is still a good ganking buddy, and it's not going to matter that much when Braum is there.
No, definitely. We saw how powerful that passive from Braum comes out with the Rengar double. But the interesting thing is, you would think with the double jungle that the Kalista would be suffering in the bot lane, especially against possibly a lane bullying Sivir. But she's actually ahead on CS at the minute. Didn't even go back to spend that extra first blood gold. Looks like you see Shun's in the mid lane going in for the trades onto nerf Vegeta, please. Not going to all in at this point. But with Fiddle coming in from behind there, the silence coming out in the fear, Ignite popping barrier, and it's going to mitigate most of the damage, but the final Q enough for securing the damage. Flash for Flash in the top lane, but the Kogath Hunger Bait coming out with the kill there. Going to pick up some CS before heading back.
Yeah, trades happening everywhere, and it's still the red team in the lead because they got those free kills earlier, but also they are in the lead in CS and in most lanes. And it's funny you said that about the bot lane, because yeah, you should be seeing Janna and Sivir punishing a Kalista when she's alone. And they did a very big mistake, because they could have made the lane push back towards them, so they could have zoned the Kalista. But now they are playing scared, and it's just a fault from their side, because giving a Kalista free farm is never something you want, and especially when you can zone her, that's not good.
Yeah, spell shield going to block the damage from that Braum Q. Looks like they're gonna try even things up in the mid lane, but I mean in the bot lane, sorry. But like you said, that AD steroid on the Janna shield surely would be more than enough to do some damage onto Kalista in a 2v1 lane.
Putting down a lot of damage and just showing the blue team that red team have the superior bot lane. Well, right now we are seeing that Rengar actually has a lot of gank pressure right now in this early game. Since he has 2 assists, Fiddle does have 1 assist, but it's not that much. And Rengar, once he hits his level 6 point, and that's regarding both junglers, then we should start to see some explosive things happening, because Rengar, with that stealth, is going to be able to do a lot of plays. And Fiddlesticks, of course. Oh, Rengar in the bot lane.
Yep, Rengar coming out, not level 6 yet, as you mentioned, but 5 ferocity stacks in the minute. Gonna try head behind the turret, going to maybe deny some jungle from Fiddle. No, just let's see where he parts to. Maybe looking to stay around this bot lane, give a false sense of security. And he's moving off to mid lane.
And meanwhile in the top lane, Pepsi is just picking up a kill, and he found a really delicious rock.
Yeah, rock's not necessarily on the diet, but when you've got a massive voidling monster, I guess he can eat what he wants. 2 for naught now with that catalyst picked up. Negatron Cloak coming out of the Malphite looking for some early protection. What do you think he could be building that Negatron Cloak into? Possibly an Abyssal Scepter?
Yeah, I think an Abyssal Scepter would be okay, since he is against 2 APs, then it would help a lot. His team is, well, his jungler is a Fiddlesticks, so that would certainly help him once they go in for that,
Pro Storm channeling, gets the silence down onto Ari, but too slow, she manages to Spirit Rush away. Sorry, there was the fear coming out too late, allowing for the Ari to Spirit Rush out of harm's way there. Braum sitting around that mid lane, Rengar possibly ready for a counter gank. Yeah. It's interesting we say actually that up until a couple of minutes ago, due to the indecisiveness of Rengar around that red buff, Fiddle was actually a level ahead of him. He was only a couple of CS behind, but now both is evened out with that level 6, looking to see where Rengar uses his ultimate next.
Rengar should... I feel like he should be going to the bot lane, because the bot lane has far superior kill pressure. And if you can land a Braum ult or Braum's in the mid lane.
Yeah, coming out, Charm lands onto Fiddlesticks, Winter's Bite not going to connect. Fortunately, Ari going to have to back here with her gold, looking to pick up that Morellonomicon maybe.
Yeah, and the Morellonomicon would work okay against this team. I feel like and the Phoenix would have been better for that magic resist. But in the top lane.
Coming in with his ultimate, landing onto... That's going to be a feast onto Hungerbait. That's a 30 CS lead now. What do you think about maybe snowballing this this top lane out for as much pressure as you can?
It's going to be easy peasy. Because he's already so far ahead. He nearly has his Rod of Ages. And once he goes back, he will be able to stack. And that's a tower. And now his team are for 3,000 gold ahead, and it's just going to be easy peasy, especially if your Braum or your Rengar are allowed to do
like
so many
games.
games.
1v1 here at the blue buff, heading into the bushes, using that W empowered to get some health back. Kogath coming down, but looks like Rengar's backing away, possibly the 1v1. The Fate's Call comes out in the bot lane, the 3-proc landing, the Monsoon is going to be interrupted with that Stun Exhaust onto Killigan as he pops on the Hunt, spell shielding the Callista Q, but that's the 4-proc onto him as well. Heal coming out, that's all the summoners pop down in that bot lane blue side. A lot of trade coming up, but here's the Yasuo Windwall, blocks the first spear from Callista. Howling Gale does not connect, Ignite coming down to reduce some of that heal damage, but he's gonna get away with his flash. Braum looking to keep some zoning pressure here just in case the TP coming in from Hunger Bay. It's all happening in this bot lane now. Shield protecting the silence as he comes in. Ari looking for the assassination onto Killigan V2. Hunger Bay doing some damage. Crowstorm coming out onto 2 members. Ari having to spirit rush out of that. It's a very heavy fight now in this bot lane. Hunger Bay's going to be taken out. 2-man stun knock-up, sorry, with that Q onto Janna and Fiddlesticks. Looks like they're going to transition this into a dragon, but Nerf Vegeta there says no thank you, not on my watch. He's taking out the Fiddlesticks now, removing that smite from the play. Rengar popping the ulti. It's all going down in bot lane. Spell Wind Wall blocking that empowered bowler, but he's going to get one back for again and pass over the kill to Kalista. When will this end? The Rengar going to use the brush maybe to get on top of Malphite, but he is too far away now with that move speed boots.
And this shows why blue team wants to do the team fighting. Once they can land all of their ultimates, they will have so much damage, but that's the problem. If their ultimates are down, they don't have any more damage, and that just showed because they just got scattered and they had no... Oh, that's not...
Killigan picking up a cheese kill on the side with the boomerang. He's not going to be able to pick up the dragon now, but he does get that shutdown. No, sorry, not the shutdown. He's going to keep Rengar locked down, sorry, for the next few seconds.
Yeah, for the next few seconds, but the blue team, as I was saying, they just overextended. They didn't really have any damage, and they were too low, and they should have just been happy with the kills that they just got, and that's a fault that they can't really afford to be making anymore, because 4,000 gold is already enough to give to your opponents, and if you can continue to give them more gold, then it's just going to be harder to get back into this game.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a sign of a strong team from Red Team that they managed to... Kalista was waiting around the turret after being taken out early on in the fight. She was still able to get a couple of hits down at the end there, and the extended fight, they kept going after their ultimates had been used and they just didn't have any follow-up. We're seeing now the Fiddlesticks heading to the top lane, does not have ultimate, coming off cooldown almost, but it's going to be a 2v1. The fear's going down. Down Pepsi, gonna tank him up. He's got the unstoppable force coming down. The silence coming out onto the 2 members of the blue team. Hungerbait's not gonna be able to get out of this maybe. Certainly not enough to pick up a kill. We're gonna see the flash coming in from Fiddle to land that fear. The smite coming out, and that's gonna be a kill coming down onto Fiddlesticks.
And now the red team are starting to struggle because they have given up. They have given up a lot of kills, and this has allowed the blue team to get more items. And with those items, they are stronger once they start to group up in a 2 or a 3-man group, or maybe even a 5-man group. And that's not what the red team wants to do, and that's just going to be really problematic for them.
No, what do you think about this Blade of the Ruined King first item onto the Kalista? Maybe looking to avoid... Oh, On the Hunt is being popped, but Fate's Call is going to miss, unfortunately. The ult going to be enough to... The damage alone from Kalista able to pick up the kill there. Wind not connecting onto Ari, and Yasuo was forced to go back in CS. Yeah, sorry, as we were saying, the Blade of the Ruined King on Kalista, maybe to kite away from this hard engage composition from the blue team. What do you think about that?
Yeah, as you said, it certainly does allow her to kite away, but it also gives her more abilities to be a skirmish AD carry as the composition is built around. Blade Ruined King, with the active, it does give him a lot of victory. Oh, be careful.
Damage landing onto Down Pepsi in the top lane. The QW combo landing from Hunger Bay, not having the range for the ultimate to finish off the Malphite. Maybe would have been enough to kill him. Rengar ulti has been popped. He's looking for the pick onto Fiddlesticks here. Gonna catch him there with the massive Q damage there. The combination coming out from Fiddle, going to dodge that empowered bowler, and Yasuo there just in case things turned ugly.
Just in case things turned ugly indeed. And Kalista, besides going for the Blade Ruined King, she's going for a Runan's Hurricane, and that's something I'd like to call an LCS build, because with that you get so much mobility and you get a lot of ways to stack your rent, especially on multi-targets. And personally, I don't like it because I feel like Kalista have more damage when she's a single target AD carry with the Bloodthirst and a Static Shift. But it's all about preferences, and in this way she will be a really strong skirmisher, and That's what she's looking for.
Killigan on this Sivir actually doing some nice job blocking most of the Braum Qs with that spell shield, being quite on point with their reactions. But like you say, Kalista, probably the most situational AD carry in terms of build paths, and she fits so many roles. As you say, Crowstorm coming out early onto Hungerbait, not going to manage to hit many targets there. Unstoppable Force straight onto the backline, followed up by the last breath. He's going to keep pushing an advantage. Rengar not there for the start of the team fight, not able to pop his ultimate. He's got the 5. That's going to be a 3-for-0 trade for that blue team. Very well executed, especially the Malphite locking down that RE Kalista in the backline. Certainly won them the team fight there.
Yeah, and I can just describe this team fight in one sentence. AoE composition. Oh, they're not done yet.
AoE Wombos looking like they're going for the dive here. Hutherby taking on the side that turret aggro, and they're going to be able to take out Hungerbait. Looks like they're going to take down this mid lane turret. Baron not available yet. We're only 17 minutes into the game, and Dragon's not going to be spawning for another minute. So what do you think they're going to be looking to do at this point now after that successful trade?
Yeah, they'll go back and spend all the gold, especially Yasuo has a lot of gold. He has 3,000 gold right now, so he can certainly get a lot of items. He gets some Mercury Speeds, threats, and a boyfriend sword. So a lot of damage right now coming out for Yasuo. And
boyfriend sword, picking up the agility cloak as well. I really was hoping once you said he had 3k gold in the bank that he would go for that instant infinity edge.
Yeah, the instant infinity edge will certainly help him. And with the dragon fight coming up soon, they just want more ways to deal. Oh, Killigan.
Charm landing onto Killigan, full combo from that Orb of Deception, and Foxfire going to chunk him out quite hard, connecting the boomerang for a return trade. They're going to head down towards the dragon pit now, where most of the vision is probably around the red team. Phase Core being popped onto Killigan, the ultimate coming out, taking the damage instantly. The TP coming in, Hutherby Janna not able to disengage so far yet with the Rengar ultimate pop. Let's see where he's going. He's going for the flank. Nice damage onto Janna. That's a Kalista triple kill coming out now. Douse Pepsi having to use his ultimate over the wall, as that's the 4th pickup. And having to use your Malphite all over he's going to be picked up by this Braum. He sees him, but there's nobody following up from the team. Think they'd rather just go for the dragon buff, don't you?
Yeah, dragon buff is much more worth for a red team right now, and once again it's just another team making a mistake, because blue team doesn't want to be picked. They want to be the ones engaging in a team fight, and red team just found a way to pick them, and that's not what they want again. And so yeah, it's really starting to be a problem, but the blue team aren't too far behind right now, and with the dragon, with the tower advantage in their favor, and not being close to even in kills, it's not going to matter too much.
No, if you look at the cooldowns on the ultimates of the blue team, Crowstorm, Last Breath, Monsoon, all still available for the blue team. They were not used in that last fight, so that was a very well played pick rotation. That was probably more of a full-on fight from the red team, as they were able to take out most of the targets. They're on the hunt pot with the Talisman of Ascension, going to look to see if they can take down this Kalista. Boomerang seeming to do not much connection there, but he's not going to be able to escape from the 4 members there. Such amounts of movement speed and lockdown, keeping that keeping that Kalista in that bot lane in their grasp.
And it's really starting to look like a solo queue game where both teams make mistakes. Oh, and then down.
Oh, looks like enough. Vegeta Crowstorm over the wall, going to be a nice pickup. Seeing that knock-up landing onto Kogath, they're going to try take this turret. He's got a lot of wave clear to stop them maybe. Winter's Bite, the Monsoon going to keep them all refreshed, maybe for another fight. We've still got Unstoppable Force and the Last Breath, one of those devastating weak combos we saw from 2 fights ago. Looks like they're going to be doing some damage on the Hungerbait. Very tanky, but he's still going to take a lot of damage. The disengage ult from Braum. Barrier popped here by Shins, and he's going to get ulted on by the Rengar. Zhonya's instantly by the Fiddlesticks. Unstoppable Force landing on 2. Much damage coming out here as the Kalista Fake Call keeps Braum safe. He's going in for the re-engage now, trying to stay alive. The Crow from Fiddle doing work there as he takes down another target. Kill actually going over to Hutherby on that Janna, managing to knock up the Kalista. Unfortunately, Howling Gale not connecting for the follow-up kill there. Could have been almost a technical ace there for the blue team if they'd been able to take him out there.
Yeah, and as I was saying, it's starting to look like a solo queue game where both teams makes mistakes until one team makes the crucial mistake and loses the game. And right now, blue team are actually starting to be are starting to catch up to red team's goal. They are only 1,000 gold behind, and it's not really. It's not what red team wants, because they want to be the ones ahead, and yeah, they are technically still ahead, but with all that gold that a teamfight composition are getting, it's going to be so hard, because you don't want to be team fighting, but when a teamfight composition is ahead, they can force a lot of engages.
Yeah, definitely. They were not afraid to tower dive twice in a row now, that blue team with their composition. Red team starting to throw a little charm, not connecting there for Ari. He's going to get away. I'm wondering whether this is maybe the fault of a composition and seeing the strength and weaknesses being exploited, or whether maybe this is just mistakes being made by the team's individuals.
Yeah, it could be the team's individuals making mistakes, but it could also be communication in the team. Oh, they might have found some bait.
Yeah, pick here. They're going to try take down this blue buffed knight to the fiddlesticks, I would assume. Looks like they're getting some vision control here down as the Baron spawns. They're going to be moving down now, maybe towards that mid lane. They've got wave pressure in the top lane, maybe. If they go up and clear it down, they could force a push there. See where they end up moving to.
Yeah, but the problem for the red team right now is they don't have a lot of siege. They don't have any really ways to get in to deal the damage onto the tower unless they pick someone off first. And Sivir has a lot of wave clear, so you're not going to get the line. Oh, and they're starting.
Looks like
Baron.
red team going for the very decisive Baron. Blue team's going to respond, not going to contest. They're just going to push it down the middle. You should really, with a team fight composition, be wanting to get right on top of this Baron pit now. But they've got no vision at all there. It's dominated by the red team and the pause.
Okay, so what is happening? Well, maybe they all been DDoSed, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Those have been the third, and oh, that's going to be the disconnect from Yasuo and from Brom.
Yeah, so everybody has been DDoSed. Fucking please.
I'm just wondering what they're going to be. What do you think the next move is for this? As this Baron gets taken down.
Well, the problem right now is you can't really go in and connect it. Sorry, not connect. You can't really go in and contest the Baron because you already have so many rend stacks onto it, and you have the smite as well, so you're not going to be able to get there in time. But you're not going to be able to get the tower in the mid lane either, because you don't have any minion waves right now. You don't have, well, at least not any that's going to survive long enough to get the tower. And even though you might get to the tower, you still have to deal with 2 minion waves. The one that they are dealing with right now and the one getting up to the tower. So it's going to be delayed too much. And also for red team, with getting that Baron, it's certainly going to help them against the wave clear problems and the siege problems that they have. And it's also going to give them a lot more golds. So it's going to give them the goal to get healthier and get a lot more items, and now we're going to see what their move is going to be.
Yeah, looks like the Rengar going low on that Dragon Pit. We got the Callisto Ren stacks going to secure, and we see the blue team finally realizing the Baron is being taken, and they're going to try push down this mid lane as quick as they can against some home guard Baron and Baron empowered recalls. Doing some damage with that double AD focus, but Spirit Rush coming in from Nerf Vegeta, trying to dodge some of those skill shots on the side. All the ultimates are available for the blue team, so he doesn't want to get too far forward, otherwise he's going to find himself in a bit of a mess there. Hungerbait coming in with his own ult coming out from Shokes on that Rengar. Looks like they're going to pop on the hunt to try and get away from this. Lots of disengage coming out from the blue team.
Yeah, a lot of disengage for the blue team. They don't want to fight Baron up members from the red team. And there's a giant minion wave right now in the bot lane for the blue team. They just want to go down there, and even though they don't have the shoutcaster, they just want to go on nom. And the dragon also spawning in 35 seconds. It's going to be huge for the blue team, sorry, the red team, because that is that's the third dragon, and with that mobility, it's going to help everybody. Rengar will be able to engage even better. Kallista's going to be faster, even though she jumps a lot more. She's going to be able to get to a target faster. Braum will be able to land everything faster, and Shoutcaster will be able to just catch up with anybody that's been engaged on. So it's really going to be crucial. And the problem is, blue team can't go in and contest the dragon. So it's starting to look really bad for blue team, and red team might be able to put it back.
No, as you were saying, they definitely need to deny this mobility from a pick-com. One of the worst things you can give to them is the tools to get on top of you, and that third dragon buff will certainly do that. See what they're going to do in response now. Maybe look to push some of those side lane pressures.
Yeah, they could do it. They don't want to group up as 5. Even though they should be able to do it with the Baron, but send Shoutcaster into the top lane would be very wise, and just the rest could group up, because Shoutcaster has the TP right now. Malphite has the TP as well, so he could go into the top lane and respond to Shoutcaster being there, but it's not going to matter too much, because Shoutcaster will still be the one, should be the one engaging first.
Yeah, we saw some warning pings coming out in that top lane as the split push Yasuo was forced to back from the Rengar Kogath that followed him up there. A bit of some indecision coming out there as pings across the map, looking to maybe push down mid or go for that bot lane. We'll have to see where they end up. Blue team looking to maybe finish their items before they go for the next fight. Looks like Fiddlestick's going to be completing his Abyssal Scepter.
Yeah, and Abyssal Scepter for Fiddlesticks. A lot of damage for him, and he has the Lucidity boot, so cooldown coming in for Fiddlestick, so he will be able to fear a lot in teamfights and silence a lot, but the red team actually decides to send Rengar into top lane, decides that he's going to be a better one-on-one. And I can see why they'd want to do this. Rengar has a way to disengage, where Shoutcaster will have a way to disengage, whereas Rengar will just save his own skin. But yeah, there's nothing. Well, the problem is now that there's no Baron up minions.
No, definitely the Baron buff having timed out. We also saw that the Rengar having completed Ravenous Hydra Phase before Yumu's means he could be possibly looking for that split push threat as opposed to the engage rush, you know, that one-shot assassin Rengar we all fear from solo queue.
Yeah, the AD carry's worst nightmare. And now the blue team was sorry, they're not grouped up, and it's going to be hard for them to defend any towers if they're not grouped up, because Sivir, you want to be in the lane that the red team are pushing, and if you're not there, then you can't wave clear, and then all the wave clear for the blue team are lost.
Yeah, that Rengar pushing top lane maybe actually caused them some confusion as they let the tier 2 mid lane turret go down for free, uncontested. Maybe wondering which one was going to be the focus next. We saw actually the tier 2 bot lane turret being pushed in by that giant mid lane wave, now being picked up by Kalista. See the blue team coming in that mid lane now, striving forward, while the red team is all separated, maybe looking to set something up here. No real vision for them around, but we see a lot and lots of the pink wards and green wards coming out around this side. Looks like we see Forrestorm coming in onto Nefertiti. He's going to take the full channel. Ultimate coming up from Braun, the unstoppable force, not being able to force down by Yasuo, who had been poked out at the start of the fight. Monsoon going to block that Rengar engage, and it's so far a 2-for-1 trade in favour of red team. They're going to keep on chasing though. They've got the long fight with that Kalista passive, taking down Fiddle those Ren stacks now. The Winter's Bite landing onto Janna, she's going to go down as well, and this should be mid lane inhibitor for the red team.
This should definitely be mid lane inhibitor for the red team. And blue team didn't really... Yeah, they did find the engage that they wanted, but they found it onto Ahri, and once Ahri was down, then they didn't have their ultimates anymore. Malphite used his ultimate onto Kalista, and with Kalista being locked down by the Malphite, she should be a very easy pickup. But you can't pick her up if you don't have any help from your backline, and that's basically the problem because the red team's front line were all over blue team's back line.
Yeah, but I think the main thing that caught them out in that fight, the Yasuo was taken out very low at the start of the fight. I'm going to have to look at the replay to see where the damage came from onto him, but he was unable to follow up the unstoppable force with that last breath. Rengar ulting now into 4 members of the team, possibly getting lucky here, landing onto killer conversion 2, not going to be able to take him out, getting away with the skin of his teeth there, 30 health as the rest of his team finishes off the Rengar threat.
Yeah, Rengar trying, but can't really find it, and I have to give him props for that. Even though Killigan was in a group of 4 men, then he still got him to nearly death, and that's just the power of a Rengar. But with the Baron coming up in 4 seconds, the red team will be looking to grab it, and the blue team, they should have an estimated timer, but it looks like they want to get that dragon and give up the Baron, and I'm not sure it's a wise choice because the AoE that they have from Fiddlesticks on Malphite works really great in small corridors, and Baron is a small corridor, but now red team is starting it because they know that the blue team aren't there.
Yeah, they're going to pick up this Scuttle Crab just in case there's the chance of the blue teams engaging, giving them the movement speed to kite out and get away. Blue team not even picking up the dragon, not going to deny the red team their possible 5 dragon finish. It's still on the board and it's still an option. They're piling down this valley now, looking to see if they can get some picks. They have no wards here. The charm is going to land, and that's a full combination down onto Dow Pepsi's Malphite. Not going to get that ult. Rengar coming in to destroy the backline Fiddlesticks and Janna before they manage to get their ult offs, and that's going to be a double kill for Kalista as well, going over, taking out that Yasuo. Killer conversion 2 going down in the aftermath, and that should be GG for the red team.
That should be GG, and I think they are writing GG right now in the chat. Yeah, they are writing GG, so we might see a surrender coming out, but they're still taking their time killing the towers, and Fiddlesticks is coming up in 4 seconds. Maybe he can do a hero play.
Yeah, maybe the hero play. Still got that Crowstorm coming out. Would be certainly a highlight reel worthy clip there if he managed the Penta right now, but that's going to be the Nexus going down. Yeah. Very close game actually, but I think red team just with the slightly better cohesion on their team.
Yeah, GG well played. Just red team kept finding those engages when blue team weren't grouped up, and that's basically just what lost the blue team the game, because they weren't grouped up, and that lost them the game. Yeah.
Yeah, when a team fight composition can't get their ultimates off for that team fight, it's not gonna be good for you.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, we are going to take a small break, and when we come back, we will have another game. Hello guys and welcome back to the League of Legends 5-on-5 Open Series. Right now we are in the quarterfinals between Pepin 3 Pommes and Mafia Congoles. And we are starting to see some of the bands rolling out, and today I am joined by Ashradel.
Hey there, ready to go for the pick and ban phase in the quarterfinal?
Yeah, we definitely are ready to do it, and Wayne, Irelia and Jan are being banned already on the blue team, and Callista Rek'Sai. And we are just waiting for the last ban to come out, and I'm curious to see it, because right now they have went for some strong one-on-ones, but it decides to be Vladimir, and Kate is instantly locked in.
Yeah, looks like we see the Devourer Kale making a return here. Not sure what they were going for with their bans, maybe just trying to remove some of the power picks from the table.
Yeah, some of the power picks, but also the Janna would be fairly well against the Kale who just wants to stick onto you, but on the purple side they pick up Gragas, who is a very strong jungler, is in the Hulk joint, so he's not one who has a lot of damage compared to Kale, who's going for the Devourer for the late game. And he doesn't use the Runeglaive either, unless I've missed something where he wants to go for full AP Gragas. But Sivir as well being locked in, it's a very good AD carry, a lot of damage and a lot of utility.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a long time since the days of AP Gragas, but we might be seeing a Runeglaive return here. You never know. Looking like the Thresh coming out for Isaac here. Looks like he had a very nice game with the roaming Braum, making a lot of impact in the early game there, and that will be the Jinx locked in.
Yeah, so you have a lot of peeling for Jinx right now, who is a late game AD carry, a lot of damage, but also with the Thresh, who is a very strong roamer. If Azel wants to continue doing that roam, it's going to be hard, and then they probably wants to do a lane swap, because Callista have more mobility than a Jinx. Jinx doesn't have a lot of mobility, and that's going to be very hard if you leave her in a 1v2 lane. But definitely some good picks, and Shen and Alice are actually being locked over. Sorry, not locked in, hovered over right now.
Yeah, definitely the TP coming out, and with that Stand United ultimate from Shen, going to be seeing a lot of map pressure here from him in the top lane, probably looking to snowball that bot lane. Jinx actually outranging Sivir quite heavily in the laning phase, might be pushing back quite hard, so it'd be interesting to see how we play this out. Gragas as well having probably the best early game of the scalings in the Hulk junglers, maybe see him getting some early ganks off as well.
Yeah, and the purple team have already picked up some very strong laners for Gragas to visit, a lot of CC as well, so it's not going to be that hard for him to land a body slam on, and he can also do the body slam flash if he wants to do it. So I really like this Morgana pickup, because at the start of course would have been very good, but Shen and Sivir basically wants to focus on the team fight, and yeah, you do have the front line on Alistar, and he's a good team fight, but personally I think Morgana would fit better into this composition, because you will be able to lock someone down for more time than an Alistar.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of lockdown coming in from this red team. The Shen taunt, the body slam, all flash potential. Of course, the infinite Morgana binding, going to keep somebody locked down for 60 minutes until the game is over.
And Zac and Yasuo being locked in over on the side, so a lot of damage from the Yasuo. They have a good front line, and they have that good front line, yeah, and they're not going. Well, it's going to be hard for purple team to get to Jinx, because if they want to go for Jinx, then they have to go through Kale and Yasuo, who will be dealing a lot of damage as well, and that's going to be really hard. And they can afford to go for that Yasuo, because Zac, the last game we saw Hunger bait on with Zac, he went for some AP, and that's definitely something he might be doing again, just to compromise with all the AD coming out. But Orianna's going to be the last login.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing the flash onto the Hunger Bait this time instead of that TP Ignite we saw in the first game. Orianna locked in secures that late game presence to maybe match the Jinx, so both teams are going to be scaling pretty nicely into that late game.
Yeah, and if you can land a 5-man shockwave or a 4-man for that sake, then it's going to be devastating. But the Gragas and the Orianna, their ultimates are going different ways, because Orianna, she pulls people inside her shockwave and Gragas just throws them out again. So if they aren't careful, then it's going to be very, very hard to land one of the ultimates.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Orianna shockwave has a lot of synergy with the way Gragas and Shen can throw themselves into the rest of the enemy team. Not seeing as much of a wombo combo this time from the blue team. Obviously still got that Zac in the middle to be knocking up lots of opponents ready for that last breath. But we'll have to see how they play out the team fights there.
Yeah, we will definitely need to see how they will play the team fights. But with the Shen and the Gragas, yeah, you said it really works well with Orianna when they can just throw them with their bodies into the fray. And also Morgana, who can just follow up with her bindings and her ultimate. It's a very good and hard engage for a purple team, but we have seen blue team being fairly okay to deal with these AoE compositions.
Yeah, honestly, we've seen a lot of Sivir today kind of engaging these hard initiation compositions, but I think maybe with the Morgana, when you're wanting to black shield somebody against all this CC from the blue team, you maybe want somebody with a bit more of late game damage, maybe like a Tristana or something, or the Vayne's obviously banned away, but something like that would something to protect with that black shield.
Yeah, I can see the point you're making, but the problem is there aren't really that many hyper carries who bring a lot of utility, and they have built a team around being able to use on the hunt. But if they had to go for a hyper carry, then maybe a Kog'Maw would have been good, or if they want to be even safer, a Caitlyn. She does get outranged by Jinx at one point in the game. But she has a fairly safe laning phase, and she will be able to deal a lot of damage in the late game as well. And with that actually very good front line, I could have seen them go for maybe a Caitlyn or a Kog'Maw. But they went for the utility AD carry, so they will rely on her not being picked out by Caitlyn. Sorry, not Caitlyn, Kayle or Orianna to just throw the ball into the face of blue team all the time.
Yeah, well, definitely, as you were right saying there, the team built around the On the Hunt, probably looking to see maybe a Talisman Rush from the Morgana and a Righteous Glory second item from that Gragas to try keep on the pressure as much as they can. Because if we look towards the blue team, after their first wave of initiation, you know, that slingshot into the red team, they haven't actually got that much, you know, dive once that initial skill shot has been blown from the Zac. Okay, looks like as if we head into the loading screen now. We have Shocks on the Kayle with Miracle Yans on that Jinx hypercarry, Championship Thresh being shown up by Easyit, and Zac on that infamous Hungerbait, sorry, on that infamous Zac, and Nerf Vegeta Please on Yasuo. Be interesting to see how the teams start to snowball this game. Definitely, I'd say the hard engage P3P team going to be looking to get those early team fights in.
Definitely, and I just found out that I was actually talking with my microphone turned off.
That happens to the best of us, especially
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, and I was actually wondering why you started talking when I was talking, and then I saw my microphone blinking red, and then I was like, facepalm.
Yeah, the short silence had me assuming that the internet had gone off in my house, and I was looking around for signs that everything was still heading on. But looks like the Summoners are going to be soon loading into the rift.
Yeah, and on the red side, we do have Pepin Free Promise with, let me take a look, Kusa in the top lane. Then we have Ankuli in this jungle. We have Samurai in the mid lane. Bendo on the AD carry position with support of Godfrey. And on the blue side, we have the Hunger Bait in the top lane on Zac once again. We have Showcase on Kale. And then we also have Nerf Vegeta Please in the mid lane with the backup of McCall Jans and Aesop on AD carry. And we're going to see something in the low one.
Looks like there's going to be damage coming out with the big swarm from Shen coming out. The Ignite is gone down onto Samurai. Nerf Vegeta Please looking to land that skill shot. Going to be dodge, command attack, and the auto attack coming out from Samurai to get a return trade. Overall, a 0 for 0. Binding and Death Sentence going to go wide there. Teams are going to be backing off. Looking at some nice early game aggression there, but unfortunately nothing for the level 1 play.
Yeah, definitely some very nice early game aggression, and it just makes the game even funnier to watch. But not a lot happening, but some summoner spells blown, 2 for the red team and 1 for the blue team. All 3 summoner spells being blown in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's probably going to be not great for Samurai and that Orianna. He's going to be needing maybe the barrier, especially if it comes to some hard trades from Nerf Vegeta. So he liked to get quite aggressive in that last game. Just want to comment on the 2 ancient coins picked up, especially Thresh. Most people consider the Relic Shield still to be the better option despite gold income. So do you not think that it's going to hurt his lane a little without extra sustain?
Not really, since they are going for that lane swap, then it's not going to hurt too much. And Godfrey just saw the lane swap coming, and he's looking to put down some damage onto Hunger Bait. But since he saw that lane swap coming, then he didn't need to go for any AP in his support item, and I feel like that's very well played and very well mind gamed for the blue team. And also, if Isel were to roam, then he would still have some ways of getting the gold income, which is of course nice.
Yeah, I'm just wondering then, we've got the lane swap being initiated, that early coin being picked up by the blue team. Looks like Hunger Bait's going to be pushed in. When we often see these 2v1 lanes, it's pretty much just a case of which of these top laners can get the most out of their unfortunate situation. I know a lot of top laners pretty much hate being battered against their turret. Death Sentence landing onto the Shen in the top lane, Rocket connecting. What do you think these teams are going to be going for a fast push on these turrets and maybe rotating around? How do you think they're going to try play this out?
Well, the team that are in a better position, I can say, for a fast push are the team of Old Mafia, but they're not using it for fast pushing because Showcase aren't there, and she just wants to be farming. They have a large minion wave, but they're just going for some poke onto Shen, and of course it's nice to have the poke onto Shen, but let's be fair, he is a tank. You probably know him to have been
Death
farmed.
Sentence landing on, going to connect with the flame, using the taunt to get out there. Bit of poke damage from Jinx coming down. He's having a lot harder time than the Zac in this bot lane. He's using his slingshot there just to pick up some CS. 11-4 at the moment between the top laners, but we're seeing a little bit of advantage to the Severe in terms of AD carry gold.
Yeah, and oh, Argyle.
Yep, coming in for the Gragas early body slam there. Tornado's going to land onto 2 members as they're going to back off, not able to get the full damage down onto Yasuo there.
definitely worth for Accolade to help Samurai in the mid lane. Samurai is behind in CS, so that's one point of it. But she doesn't have her flash either, so relieving some of the pressure that Vegeta had built up in the mid lane definitely helps. And Samurai is getting bullied around in the mid lane, so I'm starting to wonder if a crystalline flash would have been better.
Yeah, might definitely have helped him sustain a little bit more in that lane. We definitely see Vegeta making the most out of that early summoner spell disadvantage for Samurai now, picking up a 15 CS lead in that mid lane.
Yeah, 15 CS lead is definitely going to help him if he wants to go for... I think he was the one going for 24s in game 1, then it will certainly help him. And now Showcase is around the bot lane, so we might see Hunger Bait going back to buy at one point, but Showcase just walking off in the sunset.
Yeah, Binding going to connect onto Hunger Bait and followed up by that Boomerang. He's taking a little bit of damage, but hopefully he will have those bloblets to keep him going under the turret.
And it's all. This game is a lot about the junglers because once again, as in the that bait.
Oh, Dark Binding going to land a little bit of follow-up onto Siva, but she does not have enough damage at the minute. Death Sentence in the top lane, directed cam, not sure in which bot lane is more excited. Slingshot going to land onto Goffrey, not in turret range to take some return damage.
No, it might be which top lane is the most excited, because I feel like Red Team might be playing with inverted cameras.
Yeah, definitely. It's both the Shen still struggling with CS in the top lane. Obviously, Zac having his stretching Q strike to take CS like there, as we just saw on the replay. He's going to be wondering how he's going to be building with this distinct lack of gold he's having. Death Sentence going to connect a couple of auto attacks from Bendo. He's out of mana at the minute, not getting any of the mana return from that spell shield he would normally get. Going to be taking some free poke onto this turret, landing at around 5% now. Slingshot going to connect, but again able to stay sustained with those bloblet.
Oh, Jan, you have to be careful.
Oh, Kuza getting too close. He's got Ankyli at his back with that Gragas, but he's not going to have Ignite actually burn onto the Shen. Thought he maybe had a window there to take him out and backed off at the last minute when he saw that Gragas.
And now Showcase is pinging down to the bot lane. Hunger is going in.
Looks like it's going to be also a roam from the mid lane. That ultimate coming up from Hunger Bay, able to sustain backing up with those bloblets. Ultimate coming out from Kale, going to keep him alive. They're switching targets. No mana on this bot lane. First blood coming out as he pops his passive, and that's a dead Gorfrey going down there to the Kale. And getting her going.
Yeah, and the blue team are just taking advantages everywhere. They just got 2 kills in the bot lane. And now they also got a tower in the top lane, so they are starting to pull very far ahead, and Samurai just putting down a little bit of damage onto Vegeta. But really the problem there for Pepper Promise was that their bot lane was pushed up so far, and they didn't really have any rights to be pushed up that far because they didn't have any wards. And when Goffrey went down, he had a ward in his trinket and he hadn't used it.
Yeah, definitely. They had no vision of the Yasuo and the Kale coming down from that river to follow up. Good job from the good synergy, from the blue team, realizing they had the much better lane swap situation, turning all their attention down to that bot lane to save the turret and picking up one in the top lane. Looks like some trades in the mid lane. Samurai now with that blue buff going to be able to get some more frequent trades back onto Vegeta, but still with that 23 CS lead in that mid lane, keeping it constant. Dark Binding is going to connect and a full channel from the Boomerang. Dark Passage is taking him out. Black Shield preventing any further re-engage from the Thresh.
Yeah, Jing shouldn't really be fighting, even though she has a BS sword, same as Bendo. Oh, that's a hook.
Death Sentence landing, going to hit the zap onto Bendo, going to take some damage there, the return trade from the blue team.
And now Hunger's in the mid lane, but he got spotted by the minion.
Yeah, minions, the new wards, mobile across the map, gonna prevent that that gank in the mid lane. He's got his tornado ready to go. He's not gonna follow up the last breath there. Not really enough damage. Slingshot coming in. If he lands the knock up, no, didn't have enough. The last breath coming out with that ultimate now. Shield damage coming in from Samurai as he's able to block some of that. Shockwave, massive shockwave there from Samurai, almost taking out two. He just can't reach them for that final pickup. That's one kill going down. I don't think he wants to test that Yasuo for the double. Really nice shockwave though. But unfortunately now, Showcase is coming down. It's going to be the Shen ultimate. Stand United going to block some of this damage. Look for the Gragas coming in with that frontline. He's going to maybe disengage the kill with that barrel. The rocket from downtown coming out from Jinx. No Vegeta please. In that intervention going to save his life as the red team backs off.
Red team are backing up, but that's a 2 for... No, actually, sorry, that's a 1 for 1.
Oh, nice re-engage from Kuza with that taunt, going to take down the Yasuo. Overstayed his welcome there quite considerably. Should have backed off a lot earlier with the health he had. Dark Passage is coming in, Flash and Flay connects. The hook coming in onto Ankley. He's not going to have anything to go, and that's going to be the Kale picking up a second kill of the game now with 9 Devourer stacks on the board at 10 minutes.
Yeah, not quite as many stacks as the first game, but still a lot of stacks at 10 minutes. 9 stacks, that's a lot, and it's nearly half for the 30 stacks that you want to be that late game beast, and it's really starting to, even though we're only 11 minutes in, it's starting to look really bad for Pep and Free Pommes, because they only have limited resources to deal with this team, because they don't want to fall behind in this game, since they do have a very strong team fight. And if they give this Kale too much gold, then she's going to be the strong one in the team fights. And now Vegeta looks to put some pressure down.
Yeah, but the Kale coming out with that 30 CS lead and the double Barmy Cinder on the red team, meaning they haven't actually got their items completed. And one thing we saw from game 1 is that early magic penetration onto the Zac. We see him picking up a Haunting Guys. Again, definitely favouring that early pen. Isaac's going to maybe be caught out here amongst 4 members. He's definitely caught out here, trying to clear some vision. Overstayed his welcome. That should be a free kill going over to Sivir.
And Pep and Free Promise could go and put down some pressure onto the dragon now. But they had to be careful! Gragas nearly close to going down, and Michael Jan's coming in, just putting down some damage, but not dealing enough. And with Vegeta going down, they might be able to take this. And I could just see Esmeralda just disconnected. His internet went down, so I'm gonna go and take over the fan. Showcase nearly going down. Michael Jan's coming in from the side, dealing a lot of damage. Hunger Bait picking up the kill on Akue, and now it's Kusa's turn to go down. Will he be able to get away? Jinx is going for you, and Hunger Bait have found a Dark Wizard. Will he be able to take it down with these green blobs? They are just running a bit around each other. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, and they pick up another kill. And now with Vegeta coming back, they might be able to take a dragon, but I think they will just be fine with this blue buff coming in. And with the blue buff, that will probably go onto Vegeta, yeah, so a mid laner with a blue buff, of course, Yasuo doesn't have mana, but the CDR will help him a lot, especially when he's going for that 24s, so he will be able to proc his Sheen quite a lot. And now Miracle Jans and ECL will just be pushing down that bot tower, but they see the vision of the rest of the team coming and decide to back off and just spend all of the gold that they just earned. Because now Miracle, he has enough for an Infinity Edge, but he doesn't have... Maybe he has enough for a boost, but not enough. Oh! Vegeta, you have to be careful, my friend. But it doesn't look like he's going to do anything from it. He's just going to back away and play a little bit more careful. And now the rest of Old Mafia are going to be going a bit down to the bot lane, and they are actually starting up the dragon. So they want to get that first dragon, and they want that extra AD and AP to make some more plays and have more damage. And these are just going to zone away, and that's the first dragon. But now they have to be careful. The rest of the cavalry is here. Hunger Bait going on to Sivir. Lands the stun, and that's Stand United onto Bender. Showcase dealing a lot of damage. Hunger Bait is all alone. That's a mega damage rocket, and it kills someone. Get excited, Jinx. That's a double kill for you. And there comes the Yasuo ultimate, and that's a cleanup. That's a full ace for Old Mafia. Now they are certainly going to be able to get that mid tower with the help of Jinx and with the help of Kale, maybe. Well, she's just going to go in and tank up, but she's not even going to deal that damage. Oh, Showcase, you destroy my dreams, man. Anyways, they should be able to get the tower once Miracle Jans goes in and puts all the damage down. But now Vegeta has his 24s, so a pretty huge power spike for him. And also Hunger Bait has his Spirit Visage now, so a lot of damage is being taken away from Morgana and Gragas and Orianna as well. So it's going to be really hard for them to deal with. Zac, who's just going to stay in the back line and keep dealing a lot of damage from his kit. Oh, Vegeta, you might have found a samurai here, but are you the samurai who can deal with it? Oh, he's juking away. He has the knock up, but he does not have the ultimate quite yet. And now Hunger Bait is coming in. No ultimate from Vegeta. But Hunger Bait is just going to deal with samurai. And Vegeta nearly gets away, but Showcase is just going to take it. Then meanwhile in the bot lane, Bendo being taken down by Miracle Jans. That's just going to be a lot of kills and a lot of gold going over to the hands of Old Mafia. It's starting to look really bad for Pepper Pyramus, because they can't deal with all the damage coming in. And once again we see Hunger Bait going really strong on this Zac. He has a lot of damage with the hunting guys, but also the Spirit Visage just allows him to make so many plays while being tanky and having a lot of damage. And now he's going to go and bid onto Kusa in the top. Kusa can't really finish off that tower. He doesn't have too much damage to deal with that now. He doesn't have a 24s that some Shins like to build. So that's going to be hard to take down. And now Vegeta has his tier 2 boots and Marigold has his Phantom Dancer. So a pretty huge power spike. Also, Showcase just finished off her sorcery boots, so it's going to be a lot of damage that Pepper Thomas has to go with. And Vegeta goes in and dodges the Dark Binding, and now he goes back in again. And now he goes on to uses his ultimate, and that's a dead samurai from another samurai. And Old Mafia are just looking so dominant. Vegeta, you have to be careful, my friend. Oh, Hunger Bait, you naughty boy, takes the lantern away from Vegeta. It was supposed to save Vegeta, it was not supposed to save you. Anyways, with that Talisman of Ascension being completed from SL. Oh, he lands a hook. That might be a dead Kusa. Does Hunger Bait want to go in? Yeah, he does. And now Greg is being taken down. Shen is now the next target, but Miracle Jans can't pick up another. He got excited for too little. Now Vegeta wasn't ready to go in there. Since he didn't have the ultimate, he couldn't really follow up, and even though they get one kill, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get any towers, because Sivir is still standing. That's the way clear for Primitive Bones. Oh, Kale's coming in from the side. Bendo, you're dead. Hunger Bait is baiting another kill. Is that going to be a triple kill? That's a triple kill for Showcase. So 21-6 right now, and it's only going to be stronger for Old Mafia, because they are hit. They can get even more hit, because there's still a lot of towers standing up, and there's a lot of global gold that they can get. And Showcase in the top lane probably going to be able to take that down the tower, so there's even more gold. And with all that gold that Old Mafia getting... Oh, Vegeta, are you playing with another samurai? Oh, there's a fat man behind you. Hunger base going onto the knot. Onto Shen. Shen getting away, but... Old Mafia should be looking to go back now. They have a lot of gold in their pockets that they could spend to just get stronger, and with Baron spawning in 20 seconds they might decide to go for it, but that's a pause. And let me try to look up the reason why they paused. I can't see it. They haven't posted anything in their in the chat, so I'm sorry, I was just looking at my Twitch because I can't really I can't multitask. And now the game is going to continue. So with the Baron spawning in 18 seconds, they could be looking to go and pick that up, because they are so far ahead. They should be able to burst it down pretty fast with Kill, who has a lot of attack speed and a lot of damage from the Devourer. Jinx has a Phantom Dancer and a Finjet and a Bee of Swords, so that's a lot of damage as well. And 24 is from Yasuo, for crying out loud. There's a lot of damage, and Pepper Promise can't go and deal with it. They don't have the resources. They can go in for a steal, but they can't teamfight over it. And if they do teamfight for it, then they're just going to be set even further behind. And right now, all they want to do is to turtle this game out. But that's pretty ironical, because the turtle right now is being taken down in the riverside. Vegeta are just zoning a bit away in the mid lane, trying to keep anybody off of that dragon that's about to spawn in 2 seconds. So, well, Mafia should be looking to pick up that second dragon of the game, but they're going on to Shen. Kusa, can you get away? Run like a ninja. Come on, use your shadow bombs or some other fancy ninja trick. But you're just going to be played a little bit with. You are being played on for Jinx, and the hunger bait gets satisfied. And now they're engaging. Heaven 3 Pummels are engaging. Jinx is just dealing massive damage. Oh, sorry guys. No, that's a surrender. That's why I thought they were going away from this game. Anyways, it was just really well played from Old Mafia Congolese, because they had so much damage in that mid game, and they just got a lot of damage and a lot of gold already when they got to that mid game. It's only 21 minutes into the game, and they just finished up. Anyways, guys, we are going to have another game after this break. Hello guys, so it looks like my partner had to go because of some real life problems, and therefore I'm going to end the stream tonight, right now, because I'm not going to continue. But thanks for watching, and make sure to check my Twitter or my Twitch, even subscribe to it. And if you have some shoutcasting, if you have anything to say about my shoutcasting, you can hit me up on Twitch or Twitter, or even my email. You should be able to see it on the screen right now. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, and good night.